الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونتوب إليه ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله وسلم عليه وآله وصحبه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. May Allah accept the just conclude prayer from us as an act of ibadah. May Allah continue to increase us in iman, uplift every one of us, continue to provide for us and provide and protect us, our family, our household, and all our beloved ones. Inshallah, today we are in chapter 8 of the Kitab of Umdat al-Ahkam. We are in Kitab of Al-Fara'id, the book of Fara'id. Fara'id is formula of sharing the inheritance, the properties, the household, the estate. As we all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us for a purpose in this life, and then after we discharge those purpose, or we do not discharge them diligently the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really wanted us to do, we are going to depart this world. And then there are a lot of things that humans are looking for in this world. Many of them we keep on running after them. Some of them we accomplish them. Some of them we will not accomplish them. That's the truth. But as long as we were born to this world, we will surely depart it. All this our earnings, all this our strive, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not let them be in vain. All our strive, our efforts and everything, whatever we are able to accomplish, whatever we are able to gather in terms of properties, in terms of estates, in terms of belongings, they are no longer ours the moment we depart this world. In that case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really put some formula and some way in which those inheritance can be shared. In Quran, there are many verses of Quran. Out of those verses, some of them are, they are explicitly, clear, explained. One of those that are explicitly explained in Quran is this Al-Fara'id. Fara'id, that is inheritance, how to share inheritance. There are some also part of it in Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in hadith of Rasulullah sallam, how to share inheritance. Remember that we said it last week, that the best way is to share inheritance in accordance with the dictates of Allah and then with the dictate of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This way, this formula, it is what is called al-fara'id, the knowledge of sharing the estate, sharing the inheritance. First hadith that we have here, we're going to go with this hadith, then we explain some of those, even though this al-fara'id on its own is a very, very wide knowledge and very interesting knowledge. In fact, Rasulullah sallallahu let us know that one of the first knowledge that will be lifted, away from his ummah, is this knowledge of fara'id. That is, until it will be lifted to the point that you will see two people are fighting over some estate, and then you will not see anyone to come in between them, intervene, and explain the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding those properties. That is to say, is a very, very delicate and very important knowledge. So we will try as much as we can here to introduce it because it has something to do with some mathematics. Even though the mathematics is not that deep, it's mathematics of simple ratio and proportion. Mathematics of ratio and proportion. We may not dive deep into this, but we try to make some little introduction to it as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained it in his book and also as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam clarified them in many hadiths. First hadith that we have here is from Abdullah ibn Abbas. Abdullah ibn Abbas is from An Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is from the Prophet of Allah, the praise of Allah be upon him. He said, "Al-hiqu al-fara'id bi-ahliha, fama baqiya fa'uwa li-awla rajulin dhakar." Li-awla rajulin dhakar. Rasulullah says that you should give the share of those who are entitled to it. You should give it to them. Give the share of those who are entitled to it. You should give it to them. And then anyone that is left behind, you should share it among the closest men to the deceased. Closest men to deceased. Closest, the male to deceased, to the dead person. First, here Rasulullah saying he did not mention who are the people that are legitimate heirs of the deceased. But we quickly discuss what makes someone to be entitled to have a share, a portion from the leftover or from the estates or the properties of the deceased, of a deceased. There are three major grounds. On which someone can be qualified to take part in the sharing of inheritance of a dead person. Number one, according to Sharia of Islamiyah, according to Islamic jurisprudence, number one is that the person should be a member of the family of that, must have any blood relation with that deceased. Blood relation in the sense that it can be of three types. When we say blood relation, it is of three types. First type is the one that is the al-asli. They call it al-asli, the origin. The origin, it means when we say origin of someone, we are directly referring to his parents. And that is the origin. If someone dies today, his father or his mother or his grandfather or great great grandfather, great great grandmother, we pray may Allah not let that one, be the portion of us. That's what we do not pray for. That someone died and then it leaves his grandfather. But it happens. It happens. There are some reality that we tell some people that okay, let's do a see just as we said last week. Let's do it because we die. Say over my dead body. Yes, it's over your dead body. You will die for sure. Let's do this. He said, no, no death for my something like deceive yourself. When you wake up, let us know if you are ready. So these are the truths, but because it happens. So the first branch, the first member of the family, they are the origin. They are the origin. That is, if someone died and then he left the parents behind, those parents, no one can stop them from taking from the properties of their children, their son, their daughter, or so on, or whatsoever. That is number one. So the second aspect of this blood relation is al-furur. And you have the origin, and then you have the branches. The branches is it simply means the children. The children of that disease. We mean is biological what? Children. Or the one that is what? The one that is known to be his biological children. We do not say until you go and do DNA test before you confirm it whether you're biological or not biological. You are less concerned. If you go and do DNA and then you hear what you don't want to hear, now you cause am. You see what you will make you get hypertension, now you cause am. You don't need it to do. You don't need to do all those things. Majority of things that we have in this world, it is through information. Through what? Information. And that information, if it is confirmed, you let it go and then you move on. Unless if there are conditions that made you. We are not saying that I'm not saying that if someone is in the position to do the DNA and then it's haram. I'm not saying that. But if you sit down, you eat your food, then you are satisfied, and then you are looking for what? You are looking for over sabi, and then if the thing turn in another way around, that is your own handwork. So you don't need to do it before it's confirmed that maybe before I die, I must do the DNA for all my children. Thank God that thing is not cheap. I didn't think it's cheap now. That caused a lot of problem up and down. So that things your children, which are what, which are your children that is established by marriage, that you are your children. Yani you married their mother, you married their mother, and so on, and then so all the children that come from her, they are automatically your children. They are automatically your what? Your children. In fact, even Islamically, if someone else comes and then say the wife that's inside your house, let me give her belly, you sue her to court, and then let them jail her. You don't even need. You are not compelled. You are not what? Compelled. You are not obliged to even do any DNA tests. Let them jail her because it's claiming what is what. What is automatically is what? It's yours. This is someone who is saying the clothes on your body. Huh? Where you know that clothes, you are the one that sew it, you are the one that took it to tailor. Abi, that clothes that you are wearing is saying that clothes is my own. If you can take him to court, you have right to do so. So you cannot say, hey, that it has caused. No, you don't need to do that. Majority of things, all of us, even our mother, that many people say, oh, our mother is, nobody can change someone's mother. No one can change. Even our mother too, they are what? We get to know them through information. Through information. That is, they told you this is your mother, and then yes, and then you take them. The same thing our father, through information. Because that happens. Some of that is not there that the mother maybe did zina, maybe the condition warranted it, that they in future they were to do the DNA test. But that DNA test in most cases is on paternity test. Abi? On paternity confirmation. If they do maternity, sometimes you will see that some children that they are called children of some mother, they are not theirs. You know where the problems happen? Some happen in the hospital. It's not that the woman did something wrong, but it's because of mixed up. So if you go to public hospital, that's what you understand what I'm trying to say. So they give birth to many children at what? At the same time. In that process, some of them they miss the what? The children in the what? And the children, anyone that because all of them they have what? They have they are all prepared to breastfeed the children. Anyone the children put his mouth there, you keep on, and the life goes on. So that's why you don't need to bother yourself with all this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to what? Is going to separate chaff from the what? From the grain on the day of judgment. You don't need to bother yourself on that. You don't need to put that in on your head. Many people have died because of the shock. Of that, hey, they're not my children, they're there. Before you know it collapse. So you don't do that. You don't do it. May Allah help us. So if it is confirmed through the marriage that they are your children, so they have rights to inheritance. You cannot deny them. Just as we said last week. You cannot say because this one is not very dutiful to me. It's not this. Allah knows how to deal with everyone. If a child is not dutiful, you cannot say because of that, I'll stop him from getting from all what I've left. I'll stop him from getting from all what I've left. I have disowned him. You are only disown your children on a condition. We are coming back to that. So You cannot say that he doesn't have right from your what, from your inheritance. So that is number two. And number three, from the family, from the blood family, is what is called hawashi. Hawashi, it's like the what is it called? Attaché, attached, the attached side. They are not the origin, but they are, and also they are not the what? They are not branch. They are not branches, and then they are not origins. They are attachments. Yani, how what do you call attachments? It means your brothers, your sisters, your brothers and your sisters. They are attachment. They are not what originally. No, not really. It depends on some situation. When you have the origin and then you have the branch attached, the attached is already, removed from the equation. It's already removed from the equation. But in the place where there is no origin, or maybe there is origin, but there is no branch, so attached can also come in. That's brothers and what? And sister. Each of them, they have their own formula, which if time permit us, we're going to do it. So, and that is number one, family. And number two, one of the something of inheritance, it is apart from family. Number two is yani wife or through marriage contracts. Remember, we said that if you marry someone to your family, he or she, yani if you marry someone, or there is a marriage contract between two people or more, yani spouses, they have become entitled to the properties of one another. So if uh, that's the second one, and through a the legitimate marriage that is consummated on Islamic or in any other form, as long as it is what, it is a legitimate marriage. So that is the second one. And your wife will take from your property, and you as a husband too, you have the right to take from her property. It's not like when you are alive that your money as a man is our money, but her money is what? Is her money. But this one is not. And you have certain portion in her property if she pass uh, away, she pass on. So, and then the third one, apart from this one, is what they call al wala. And that one is no longer in existence. It is a free slave, a free a free slave. And a slave that was yours before then, you freed her, uh, you freed him or her. So, and then it has become your wala. Your wala, it means your wali. It's like your ally, your part of your member of your family by that extension. So if you will something or you give her something or you die, you do not have any one of those one that we mentioned, those wala, according to majority of scholars, they can have as shared from the inheritance. So these are the what is it called? The grants that can make someone to have the inheritance. So what about the grants that can uh, okay, let's quickly talk about the arkan, arkan of inheritance. The arkan al-irth, the major branches, the major elements of inheritance. Number one is that there must be al-muwarrith. There must be al-muwarrith. Al-muwarrith, it means the deceased, the person that died, and that person that died must have the confirmed death before you can even do anything on his or her inheritance, on his or her property, must be confirmed death. And number two is that there must be al-warith. Al-warith, it means the those who take over inheritors, and those one must be alive Must be what? Alive, either in real sense or indirectly. Must be alive when the what? When the what is it called? When the person died. Why? First, let's quickly go back to this muwarif. Yani, I said it must be the dead person must the deceased must be confirmed what? Dead. Why I said that is that sometimes in the situation whereby someone maybe got lost, kidnapped, we do not know anything about him for years. Huh? And then just say that you don't go with that. So let's share his important his inheritance. Scholars they are of different opinion in that regard. So some of them they call such person they call him al mafqud. Al mafqud it means the lost or missing someone. That missing persons you cannot tamper with his properties immediately. Some say until after 5 years, some say until after 7 years, you not hear anything from him. Some will give conditions that, until you hear some things that shows that is dead. Maybe he went to a place and then those who he went with, all of them have all returned after some years. There are a lot of discussions among scholars in that regard. So as for the second one, yani al-warith, those who take over the inheritance, they must be alive as at the time that person died. Yani is alive today. The person died today is alive. Tomorrow too he died. He or she too died. He will take from that inheritance. He will take from what? From that inheritance. Two of them they died at the this one died. After some while this one also died. Even if it is 1 minute between them. So the one that died later will inherit the one that what? You say we inherit, what is the implication? It means that if he takes it has become part of his property, which his own what? His own children or his own relative too that we share. I hope you get the implication. And then another thing is that he may not be alive directly, but it may be alive indirectly, like a virtues that is a child that is his mother was carrying him. He's not alive 100% as at the point of the death of the father. Okay, but it was inside the what? The womb as a virtue. Are we getting into something? So that one too, we will count him. We will count him alive until he's dead. I mean, he's born. If he's born and then he cries, where, then he will take from the inheritance. But if he's born as this miscarriage, so it's not alive. I hope you get the point. So even if he was born, then he cries somewhere, then he died. So he will take from the inheritance. That is the implication of this. So we've talked about the muwaris, and then we'll talk about the waris, and the last thing is the property itself. What are you sharing? You must have something that you share. Someone that I don't die, you don't die, then nothing to share. So there is no call for this inheritance. But in most cases, no matter how little it is, there is always something to be shared. So that is these are the something. Now there are some mawane al earth. There are some of scholars they count them to be like seven. But out of all these seven, all these many of them, because of time, we have not even gone to most of the hadiths we want to talk about. Most of them, there are some key among those things that can prevent that can be impediment to inheritance. Yani prevention can stop someone from having share from it. One of them is that if the inheritor, those that are going to take part in inheritance, it is confirmed they are the killer. They are the killers of the deceased. If they confirm that they killed him so that they can take from his inheritance, they cannot what? They have, they have stopped from that. Or maybe ikhtilaf al-din. If there is difference in religion, we're going to talk about it. So you cannot take from it. Cannot take from it, and then it cannot take from me. Not this religion is not something that someone is going to joke with. So these are some of the basic ones that we got to explain because of time. Let's quickly take the second hadith. This second hadith, I want us to take it, and then inshallah, next week we're going to talk more about the study or the knowledge of inheritance. This hadith of Usama bin Zayd. Usama, Usama bin Zayd, yani, as I think we discussed him before, is one of the most beloved Sahaba to Rasulullah. His father is Zayd bin Haritha. Zayd bin Haritha, they used to call him before Zayd bin Muhammad. You remember that servant of Rasulullah that Rasulullah adopted, but he lived with Rasulullah and then he saw a lot of things. Then, in fact, he preferred Rasulullah over his parents. So, until the point that Rasulullah adopted him, and then his name was changed from Zayd bin Haritha to Zayd bin Muhammad, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed a verse that abolished what? That abolishes the adoption. Yani, what I mean by adoption, it means to adopt someone and completely change their own family name. So, adoptions in the form of fostering, there is nothing wrong with it. Yani, in form of fostering, like you take care of someone, of a child, then you give him all necessary need. You take him like your own child, but he bears his father's name or his family's name. So where you take care of him and everything, so you let him know, because anything has something to do with deception or mixing things together, Islam doesn't sanction it, doesn't approve it. Anything that looks like mixing things together, do not let people know where they belong outrightly. So it's not approved by Islam. So this Zayd, when Allah abolished that, his name turned to Zayd bin Haritha, as it used to be before. And then his son is Usama. He's the youngest, one of the youngest commandant of the Muslim army. And during the time of Abu Bakr, was appointed by Rasulullah, and then during the time of Abu Bakr, and so on and so forth. So that is this Usama bin Zayd is the one that reported this hadith. He said, قلت يا رسول الله أتنزل غدا في دارك بمكة. This happened during the conquest of Mecca. You know, Rasulullah was from Mecca, but of course, by extension, he should have some property, in Mecca. I mean, at least his father's house should be in Mecca. I want us to listen to this very well. His father's house should be in Mecca. Like any one of us will go to our villages. So even if we do not have our own personal, so we have our own family what? Even if it is house that we enter like this, we still have them in our own family house. Then Rasulullah went to Mecca, conquest of Mecca. So Zayd bin Harith, this Usama was not asking Rasulullah, was then asking Rasulullah, "Oh, you Prophet of Allah, atanzil ghada fi darika bi Mecca? Are you going to stay in your house, in Mecca tomorrow? Remember, we have where you stay, we are just like Mr. tell him we are in your home. So are you going to stay in your house tomorrow? Your house in Mecca?" He asked Rasulullah. Then Rasulullah replied to him. He said, وَهَلْ تَرَكَ لَنَا عَقِيلٌ مِنْ رِبَاءٍ أَوْ دُورٍ. Rasulullah asked him that, did he even left any house or any land for us, for me to even stay in? Who is Aqil? How does this happen? This Aqil is a son to Abu Talib. Abu Talib, Abu Talib, remember him? We know him. Abu Talib, the uncle of what? Rasulullah, the one that took care of Rasulullah, the one that did everything for him. So, but he died as kafir. He died as what? As kafir. In fact, even the mother, even Rasulullah tried, he did everything to let him accept Islam, but he didn't accept Islam until he died as Kafir. It really pained the heart of Rasulullah Sallallahu that even Rasulullah wanted to intercede on his behalf because Rasulullah is so appreciative. Yani, is someone that if you do something good to him, he will never what? He will never forget you whether you are alive or you are dead. In fact, his wife, Khadija, we know Khadija. Khadija was older than him. Khadija gave him everything that he needed at a point. In fact, when Khadija, after the death of Khadija, he took Rasulullah a while before he married another wife. And then after that, when he went to what? He went to Mecca during the conquest of Mecca. Rasulullah was sitting on the floor with an elderly woman. And Aisha, as a young, normally that we have this jealousy. It's normal thing. When you love your husband, you have to have this protective, not destructive, protective jealousy. So Aisha was, who is this old woman that Rasulullah was sitting with on the floor? They were talking for a very long time. Then Rasulullah, when Rasulullah was asked, Rasulullah told Aisha, told one that this woman that you are seeing is a friend to Khadija that she used to come to their house. Can you imagine? She used to come to their house, then they were remembering, those time, those years when Khadija was alive and those things. Even though Aisha said something, then that old woman, you still remember him. And the Rasulullah said, in fact, that woman is talking about when I was rejected by everyone, she did. She, in fact, accepted me, and gave me all the support I needed. Can you see how appreciative Rasulullah was? Even with the same Abu Talib. Abu Talib, he tried everything. Even when the wife of Abu Talib died, the wife of Abu Talib, Fatima, I was asked about this recently. When she died, Rasulullah wished that he interceded on her behalf. In fact, it's even reported that Rasulullah entered her grave. Yeah, he's already dug what? Grave. Entered it, trying to move around it. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we have mercy upon them. For you to see how, because of what they did, what? To him, for him. You cannot say because they're kafir now, they're going to hell. No. He wasn't pleased with it, even though there is nothing he could do. So now, this Abu Talib, he left behind 4 children. 4 what? Children. So as Abu Talib was alive, 2 out of his children, they were already Muslim. 2 were kafir. 2 were kafir with their father. So is what Rasulullah is telling us here. One of those that the 2 of them that were Muslim as the point of their father. Now the irony here is that their father was kafir, and then he died as what? As kafir. By that, the Muslim children, they will not take from the inheritance. So the inheritance became the share of the kafir what? Kafir children. Now the kafir children. Okay, let me talk about Muslim children first. They are Ja'far. The 4 children they are Ja'far, Ali. These are the 2 Muslim, Ja'far and Ali. And the 2 kafir that when their father they were kafir, they were Talib and Aqil. So this Talib, he died too. Okay, remember now we have removed the 2 of them, or Ali and Ja'far from the equation already. So when their father died, during the Ghazwat of Badr, Talib also went to Ghazwat of Badr, and then he died in that war. Who is left behind now? Aqil. So all the properties of their father and something became Aqil's what? Aqil property. And then when Aqil got a point, then he sold all the property. He sold all the what? All the property. So then when they got to something, because Rasulullah Muslim, the inheritance of his father died very young. Remember, died very young. So about that virtue, the family, the property maybe did not have much. but the property of their grandfather, okay, which is Abdul Muttalib. So was taken care by Abu Talib. The one that should be from Abu Talib, that Rasulullah would have gotten the share from it. Since Rasulullah is a Muslim, no inheritance for him, and no for Ali, no for Ja'far. Aqil that had it, he sold it all. So then that's what Rasulullah said that, okay, Aqil, did he leave anything for us? Inheritance, no any house. No any house, no any something for us. So it means that even I am a Meccan, but I had what? I have no shishi, no any, even a block. I do not have a Mecca. Allah Akbar. So one of the implications of this statement by Rasulullah means it is allowed for those who have property in the Mecca that they can sell it. They cannot say, hey, you cannot sell this. You know, if you have property in the Mecca, you sell what? You sell it as your own legitimate property. So that is the one of the implications. Then Rasulullah, this one, then the remaining part of the hadith, Rasulullah then brought a generalization, a general formula, general principle that will guide the differences, you know, in a situation where we have different religion or differences in the religion. Then Rasulullah says, لا يرث لا يرث المسلم الكافر ولا الكافر المسلم. A Muslim will not take from the inheritance of kafir, and kafir will not take from the what? Inheritance of us Muslim. There are some Sahaba like Mu'adh ibn Jabal and some of them that they say that, oh no, if the father or the deceased is kafir, and then the children that they are to take part from that inheritance, they are Muslim, they can take from it, because al-Islam ya'la wa la yu'la alayh. Even though this opinion is what is a minority opinion and then rejected by majority of scholar. These are the mawani of al-earth, inshallah. So then next week we say more about the inheritance, and then we conclude this chapter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala count us among those who listen to His word and make good use of it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide and protect every one of us. Increase us in Iman. May Allah make this to be beneficial to every one of us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. So I think we will have some questions or some other things. We're going to open the floor for that, inshallah.